Hi, I'm Elena Glassman, and I'm a PhD student in electrical engineering and computer science at MIT. I work in the user interface design group run by Rob Miller in the computer science and artificial intelligence laboratory. So we're trying to think about how people interact with computers and how we can make that a more successful and fun and productive relationship. I'm taking that experience to Google this summer in Mountain View, where I am currently working on helping people learn with Google better. The first question I got is about whether my martial arts background is helpful. And actually, my martial arts background inspired my entire current research direction. I picked up wrestling as a 22-year-old first-year grad student, and I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could. And so outside the lab, I was reading up on how people learn, about learning communities, about kind of the psychological aspects of it, the kind of neuroscience aspects with respect to work and memory, and there's so many different things that we try to learn in life. Wrestling and computer science are very different, of course, but really gave me a perspective on how I approached my subjects in school. And I think, and now my PhD is on building systems that help people learn. Okay, what keeps me motivated at work? That was another question that I got. Essentially, it's this annoyance. There's this idea that, like, what if this thing existed? I'm not exactly sure how to make it, but I really want it to exist. And it's like a dissatisfaction with the status quo that, like, even though it might be embarrassing to, like, actually sit down and sketch something up, and it's like, oh, you know what, it's, you know, maybe I'm not satisfied with those initial sketches either, so there's this kind of, like, I'm powered by dissatisfaction. But, you know, eventually you get to this point where it's like, you know that, at least in the past, when you've worked really hard on something and you've iterated on it and you've gotten feedback from others, and, you know, if the data is good and the design decisions come together nicely, you have something that's, like, really fun and cool to interact with, and gives people insight. What gets me most excited about the future of ECS and technology is that, like, everyone's walking around with ECS in their pocket, right? I mean, sorry, when I say ECS, I mean electrical engineering and computer science, which is one department at MIT. It's not the case in a lot of places, but, you know, it's from the electromagnetic waves that we use to transmit information from cell towers to your phone, the chips that decode it, that do the processing, that the CPUs that, you know, execute the operating system and allows you to run applications that have been designed by software engineers, right? It's the whole stack. It's just sitting there in your pocket, most people's pockets, even in the developing world. I do think I'll be working on human-computer interaction because everything is humans interacting with computers now. I mean, you cannot possibly finish in this field. There's endless things to work on. Yeah, there's an HCI component to nearly any project I can think of. That's it for now. Thanks for sending in your questions. It was really fun to think about these topics, and I hope that you find all the other videos in this series to be enlightening about what it's like to work in CS.